Hey guys, Doppelgraymore here. We're back with the Let's Play Farming Simulator 15 series, the Black Rock Valley. This is episode 5. We just finished episode 4. In episode 4, we wrapped up planting and got all of our fields planted, as well as checked the status of our silage pit, which is almost completely fermented. It's now nighttime, so we're going to do one thing before we go to bed, and that is we're going to pay off our loan. We've got quite a bit of money sitting around, and all the loan is doing is charging us interest. So I think I want to repay that, kind of like I do in real life. I'm not a big fan of having debt, so I want to get out of it as soon as possible. Obviously that hurts a little bit, but if worse comes to worse, we could always borrow in the future. But like I said, we still have pretty good money and a decent amount of equipment, so I don't think we're quite hurting for money just yet. So we're going to pay that off. The next thing I'm going to do is increase time to sleep through the night. Really doesn't do much for filming at night, so we will video during the day, and we'll just count this as just like a regular farmer would go to bed. So I'm going to turn in, and I will see you in the morning. Okay, through the magic of editing, it is now 5 o'clock in the morning. We have rested and had a good night's rest, so we're off to get started to work. So one of the first things we want to do is go and check on our silage. It should be ready by now. But one thing we will look at before we get too far is just check our fields. So 6, our grass field, is now actually ready to be harvested again, so that's good. We'll get over there as soon as chores allow. It looks like 18 is getting really close. It's in a late growth stage, so it's really close to turning. So here before long we're gonna have some harvest, but hopefully prior to all this we're gonna have a silage pit to empty. So let's go check it out. So one thing you may notice is I downloaded a new video capture software, which now allows me to record my microphone as a separate channel. So hopefully this will avoid some of the problems. I've really struggled trying to get a good balance between you guys being able to hear me when I speak versus just having my microphone be overwhelming. Unfortunately, I've found through doing this that I tend to be a person that changes the dynamic range of my voice quite a bit. So when I'm actively telling you something or telling some kind of story or talking about that, I talk at a much louder volume than when I'm just kind of reacting to things in the game. So I would catch myself saying things to you as an audience, but they would sort of be under my breath, and those type of things would be almost inaudible or very difficult to tell exactly what I was talking about. So hopefully this will solve that problem. And now you guys will have a little more consistent, or be able to hear me a little more consistently. So let me know your thoughts if the audio does sound better, and also give me feedback on whether you think the voiceover is too loud or you'd rather have it louder. So when you're actually doing the game capture, it's a little difficult to really tell because I don't have my mic plugged into the speakers, obviously, because of the feedback loop that would create. So I really don't know till I get to the mixing part of the video of exactly what that sound level is going to be like. And what I'm excited about is, at least now, I think this is my turn, at least now I have the ability to edit the volume level of that voiceover post-production, or post recording. So I think that may be problems of the past. We'll see. We may run into other issues with that software, but for now, I'm excited by it. Ooh, I don't see a white cover, so we definitely have mileage. So this will be the first time I've actually looked at selling silage. I've made it before, but I haven't used it on this map, and I haven't used it actually to sell to the biogas plant. So we'll take a look over here. Man, it looks like somebody's shining lights in my... I guess that's just the sun. So this is where, in this map, instead of it being a raised bucket collection system, it is actually, I believe, down these grates is where we have to put it. So there's a couple things I want to experiment with, but I'm not sure if I'll do those exactly now. But I'm curious now if we could pick this silage back up with the forage wagon and then drive it over on top of this to release it. If so, that might make this job quite easy. The realist in me wonders about whether or not that's a little bit like cheating, because I don't think that's the way it would typically be done. Obviously, that's a forage wagon is not necessarily the best way to pick that stuff up. So I think either way, we're going to buy ourselves a bucket. So that brings us to another set of options. We can either buy a bucket for this New Holland T8 that we have, or T6, I'm not exactly sure which number, but I think it can accept a bucket. But what I'd really rather do is just get a bucket loader, because then we can look at getting a much bigger bucket and make this job much faster. Let's go into the store here and take a look at what we have. So we have wheel loaders, which that's 165,000 with a bucket of 3,400, and that bucket has a capacity of 6,400 pounds, or whatever the units of that is. I really wish this game showed its units and made that a little easier to understand, but that's a diatribe for another day. So $165,000 option, or 170 with a bucket, gets us a 6,400 per scoop capacity. We also have a bucket for this telehandler, which is a smaller scoop. It's a cheaper price. It is 8,500 with a capacity of 4,500 of pounds, or whatever we're going to say that number is. So the benefit of this one is A, it's cheaper, and B, because this is a telescoping end, there may be some things we can do with that telehandler that we would struggle doing with the regular bucket. But I want to look at one other option, and that is when we bought the game. Oh, maybe they are included. Oh no, so the New Holland pack was is included with the game from Giant Software, but it shows up instead, and I don't know why it doesn't show up in the main thing. I think that's kind of silly, but it shows up over here in our mod. So this is a wheel loader that came with the game, but it came as a mod versus a in-game resource, so it shows up over in this mod section. But that being said, it's 190,000, but it can hold 10,000 and nil. I don't know. It must be the units. I'm not exactly sure what that stands for, but it looks like it carries everything that we would want to carry, and it is 10,000, which is huge. And so then we have the New Holland version of the telehandler, which all it says is a working width of 2 meters, which is unfortunate. So we don't know, but it's 105,000. But I'm quite sure it is smaller than the New Holland front wheel. So I think this may be the one we consider. It's got a little bigger working width too. too, so I think it is bigger than that other one. So it's significantly more expensive. So can we afford a $200,000 hit? So really, the last, obviously there's several pieces of equipment we still need to buy, and that's the reason I'm probably overthinking this. But one of those pieces of equipment is really expensive, and that's going to be our harvester. But even the most expensive harvesters, I think, in the game are pushing 300,000 or 400,000. So let's assume we bought this plus one of those. That would still leave us 800,000, which we need a cultivator. We need um, a cultivating tool to add to the tractor. We need a uh, slurry wagon. We need a milk wagon, a water wagon, but all those really aren't that expensive compared to this stuff. So I think we can afford this. Not to mention, depending on how well this goes, we may be able to recoup a good chunk of this money just in what that silage brings. So I'm going to pull the trigger and hopefully not regret it. So we are going to buy this, and we are going to buy this. So what we need to do now is go drop our tractor back at the farm and pick up our new wheel loader. Kind of excited. I haven't used this wheel loader before, so this will be a first for me. Sun is slowly coming up. I put the time back down on 1. I may move that back here in a little bit. But since we got a whole new list of chores and a brand new day to start, I figured slowing time down till we at least have a good game plan of what we're doing is probably not a bad idea. Depending on how this silage goes, I think one of the game plans may be to buy one of these large fields over here by the silage facility and plant that with grass so that we can really turn this a bit into a, more of a easier thing to get going. So I think there's some mixed opinions on using silage in the game. At least some of the things I've seen, people tend to think it's a bit of a cheat. But this game is made in, or at least with a very European feel, and from what I've read and seen, using these things for using silage for biogas facilities in Europe is a real deal. So this actually doesn't go here, and just pull it in here. So at this point in my game, I don't really feel like it's a cheat. If you guys convince me that it is, then we'll look at doing something else. I will tell you that if we just start raking in money hand over fist, then I will probably not do it. I just like to keep my games to feel real, and it never feels real if you're just winning too easy. So just take a boy. Looks big and impressive. Looks like a decent sized bucket. Oh, it's got one of those front ends that the whole front kind of fits. So it may take me a little bit to get used to driving that. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself too bad as I struggle with the bucket. Yeah, that's definitely weird to get used to. So here's what she looks like with the bucket. Nice looking piece of machinery. Well, we do our best not to kill anybody. Let's get over to that biogas plant and see what kind of money we're going to make. Man, that is going to throw me with that thing up there. I will most likely hit a tree or the edge of a bridge is my guess by the time we make it over here. I wonder if when you drive one of these in real life, I bet it's also something of a bit of a learning curve to get used to. But I bet she corners a lot better. I'm going to do this first bucket from outside view because I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for here. I should just be able to take the bucket down and scoop it, I think. Oh, so we got some in there. Just at 29. Man, how much does it hold? I guess that is full. Wow. And that is a big old bucket. That's crazy. I don't know if this will automatically take it or I will need to dump it. So let's switch back to outside view. So it's still in there. Let's try dumping. Oh, there she goes. And there goes the money. Holy cow. So that is $10,000 a bucket we're making off this. That is impressive. Wow. So we paid, what did we pay? Almost $200,000 for this thing. So if we get 20 buckets out of this, at the very least, our silage plant, our silage crop here will have paid for, is that full, you think? At the very least, if we can get 20 buckets out of here, it will have paid for the equipment, which is pretty cool. The question will be is whether we could really get 20 buckets out of here. And I apologize, I'm a bit slow getting the first time I've ever driven equipment like this, like I said, so two things going on. A, getting used to driving it. man, that's impressive. The good news is I don't think that's going to be crazy money, so maybe it won't feel like cheating, hopefully. We'll just have to see how many buckets truly comes out of this. Okay guys, we are going to call that the end of episode 5. We've started selling off this silage, and we will focus on selling off the rest of this silage in the next episode. I appreciate you tuning in. This is Doppelganger, and we will see you next time for episode 6. Please like and subscribe. Have a good one.